Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to paint a watercolor landscape. See a sketch here which I made for that. And this gives me enough information to paint this on a slightly larger scale. So I have a 230 GSM watercolor paper. It's about A5 size, and I'm going to paint this scene using these watercolors. And I'm going to use Prussian blue, yellow ochre, and chrome yellow. I might use both of them if needed. Then burnt sienna. I don't think I need any other color. This will represent the red. This both of these will represent the yellow in the color scheme, and this will be the blue. So with that, I will start sketching the scene so that I get an idea of where things should be. So this point is somewhere here. I will sketch this very lightly. So you may not see this right now on your screens, but I need to keep this light because I don't want these lines to show through when I apply the watercolor. So that's the reason I'm drawing this very lightly. So I want to show multiple layers of these pine trees or these tall trees, whatever they are. So then on this side, there is also multiple layers of these trees. Actually, this is one mountain, this is another, this one is third one, and this one is fourth one. So, and the trees are growing on these in multiple layers. So I just want to get those represented properly. And then this is the mountain which is the farthest. So that gives me enough information in terms of shapes where they should be, and now I can start painting. So to start with, I'll just apply some water. Not completely making this paper wet, but I'll just make it damp. Maybe I'll just soak out some of it. Just give me a second. I'll grab a tissue. Yeah, now I'm dabbing it so that there is not much of water remaining on the surface. I just want the paper to be damp and not wet. Now I can start applying the colors. So I want to keep the sky very light. So I'm starting with some blue here, and I'll just dilute it a lot and then throw it in. Just make it slightly darker at the top and then drag it down. In this area, I want to make the dark mountain dark as compared to the sky, and I'll just add a tinge of burnt sienna to this. That's too much, so that it becomes slightly grayish. And let's try that. Yes, just make some more of it. And I want to keep it hazy, so I'm not worried about getting a very sharp edge here. And I'll just drop in few these color dots so that and this line kind of looks very uniformly going down. I want to make it into a shape like this and so on. Now let's come to the next layer of trees. At this stage I'll just add these rough brush marks. I need to maintain the white of the stream because I want to show the reflection of the sky in that. I'll just make this slightly darker and thicker consistency so that it shows up as that layer of trees. And as I come down, I can use this same thing, same color on this side also. And as watercolors dry lighter, I'm not uh, concerned about they being so dark right now. And finally, they will anyway lighten up. Just keep this or save this area. Now, as I come down, I'm going to increase the thickness of the color and make them more greenish by adding more brown. I need to keep working on both the areas or both the sides of the painting before they start drying up. So a slightly darker version now for the trees here. Wherever I need a sharper line, I'm dragging the brush up. And I can always come in with darker shapes later on. And in this area, I want to show some smaller shrubs. So I might just start painting the negative shapes. And I've also started indicating these trees. They may not remain so sharp, but at least they'll create that feel. And on this side, I'll keep painting this layer of trees and also preserve the I'll allow this to dry. This side I will not work on it now any further. And let's work on slightly more brighter greens. So yellow ochre, I may not use chrome yellow at all. So let's try and paint these. We are able to see the greens in them because these trees are closer to us or the viewer, and that's the reason we are seeing a variety of colors here. Again, I want to make the corner darker, so some dark color goes in. Okay, now I'll switch to a smaller brush, and I'll have to mark a few rocks, or I can do that with the brush itself. So what I'll do is I'll take the same color and start making their outlines of these rocks. And I now need to show some reflected light in the water. I'm just using the sky color and making the marks like this, which later read as water flowing. And I'll make it darker towards the area near us, and as we go up it becomes lighter and lighter, because that's the principle in landscape. The sky becomes lighter towards the horizon, and the foreground or the ground becomes lighter towards the horizon. So you see more darks as they are closer to us, and as things recede into distance they become lighter and lighter. So horizon line is where the objects are their lightest in that particular scene. Now let me come back with a brown for the rocks, for the shadow side of the rocks, but that's too bright a brown. So let me add some of this green in. I might have to lift some of this color here because it's become too dark. So I'm just dabbing my brush and lifting some of that color. And anyway, when I darken this area, that will start looking like a lighter color. If this video is helping you so far, please press the like button, subscribe to my channel, and also press the notification button. Thank you for that. Just checking with my outer side of my palm to see if the colors are dry. I think I can start working here. By the time this also will be dry enough. So I'll just keep this aside. And I need to now paint these, and they need to be slightly darker than what the color is already. So let me try this color. I think it's too dark. So some more water goes in and I can paint. This will become lighter when this color dries. Because these trees are very far from us, I'm painting them very light. Observe the movement of the brush. And I don't want to paint them in a very linear fashion, so I might have to vary their positioning and size and so on. For the trees on this side, I'll add more brown and a bit too light. Now again, as I come down, I'll have to darken the color and also increase the consistency. It's the same procedure that I did in the first layer, but just that now it's going to be much more final. You will see less of the details in the distant trees and more of the details in the trees which are closer to you. That's why I need to make these trees less detailed. So that they visually get pushed into distance. Even when you apply colors, you have to remember about the value of the color, which means how dark or light it is. Otherwise, the painting doesn't look right. So now need to paint this. So again, thicker color and more brownish, because now the trees start looking more and more green. And I'll paint fewer and fewer trees now, because each tree will be bigger in size. Because they are closer to us. You can see that I'm only suggesting the trees and not painting each tree very detailed. Now let's concentrate on the left hand side. And I'm keeping some unpainted areas which act as areas through which we can see the trees in the background. If we don't keep them, then there's a danger that things look two-dimensional instead of three. So make sure you leave some gap in between these trees. And I'm also not covering each and every, or rather not covering the area with an opaque color. Even the color which I'm applying is not, I'm keeping it slightly transparent. That's taking advantage of the watercolor, transparency of the watercolor as compared to other mediums. And you have to remember to paint these in random fashion. They should not look like they are planted in a particular pattern or something. Here I think I can use the larger brush, because the trees are larger here. Let me look at the painting from some distance now, because that needs to be done to get the viewer's perspective. So I'll just step back for a few seconds. I think it looks good. Now let me make a slightly lighter version of this color, or greener, and paint these and refine the rocks by painting around them. We only need a suggestion of they being rocks. We need not literally paint them. Now let me switch back to a smaller brush and suggest a few ripples on the water surface. And a few hints of the rock color. That should be enough to make them read as rocks. And I want to only paint the suggestions and not description of a rock, if that's the way to express it. And now it's time to work on this a bit. I can either lift some color, or I can paint maybe something like this. It will become darker later on. And to make it look bright, I will use this color and paint some negative shapes. Enough to suggest a bunch of light colored trees here. And so on. I will lift some color from here. So I'm just using a damp brush and lifting some color from there. Which suggests some light falling here. Let me make this slightly darker and more bluish. Yes, I think I'm almost done. On the rocks, I might pick up some color. That's too light. Yeah, this is better. And the rocks are not only on the left hand side, at least one of them is on the right. That's what I'm trying to suggest here. I think that's it. It's time to remove the tape and reveal the painting. And there you have it. So I hope you enjoyed this landscape demo in transparent watercolors, and I urge you to give this a try, see what challenges come up and how you can grow through them. Now I'm linking few of the videos and the playlist which you might find interesting, which continues the watercolor story. So I'll see you there. Thank you.